How was Miami, man?
Well, it was hot.
Okay.
And I was there on the pit box till about 8 or 10 laps to go, and I had to get to the car where they wouldn't wait on me, but I made it good, and we stayed for all of it. And sitting on the pit box, I guess I watched the 43 too much.
Yeah.
But then I come home, watched it on tape, and it was a different race, Richard, from what I seen down there. And I didn't think it was much of a race, but it was pretty good watching it on television.
Well, yeah, okay. Me, I was at home and I watched it on TV. In the first segment, I thought was kind of interesting to me because everybody was starting to race each other. In other words, to me, that's where the race progressed. People found out who run good, who didn't. So everybody, they raced each other pretty good. They wound up getting in line or whatever. But one thing I might like about the racetrack is that you can run 3 different grooves. And you notice some guys doing that, and that to me makes really a good race. And then the tires wear out, and that changes all philosophy of, when you pit and when you save your tires or whatever. But I thought the first half of it was pretty good. From then on, the second part I thought was really dull, and it didn't get interesting to me till about, 25, 30 laps to go in the race, and then they had the caution flag and stuff, and then things got pretty interesting.
I'm going to take my sunglasses off. I'm trying not to be a Richard Petty, okay?
Okay.
But I didn't know I had them on.
But you got to put his glasses on where he can see. I'm over here, Dale. Okay.
Oh, now I see. But, I see some of the same stuff. And our car, I'm going to talk about the 43. We started out and got way back and didn't do much good. And then some of them started pitting at 33 laps in an 80-lap run, and I thought that was early. And I'm using the 43. He run till 37 and come out about 4 seconds ahead of the 5.
Yeah.
And he just stayed there, and I said, golly, I hope we can stay there till 80, for the stage.
Lapped. Yeah.
And the next thing I knowed, started getting away. So we was as good or better than anybody on the racetrack.
At that particular
time.
And I said, well, I sat there and watched the timing.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm looking at that, and I said, we're not as bad as what I thought we was when the race first started.
When the race
started, he must have made
right.
some adjustments, and he's really going to be good. But that was his best run.
Well, there was one other run, Richard, where he run real good too, because he drove up to 14th, and then I think they come out 19th, and
pit stops always kept getting him behind.
But they had one good stop when it was critical, and but they were some cars that finished ahead of us that we outrun with no ease, Richard.
I know that track position is so much. You know what I mean?
But did other people make adjustments? But at the end of the race, it was probably 20 or 25 degrees cooler than started, and we know how sensitive that car is, Richard. And
see, the deal, I watched the 43 car. With new tires, they just really beat him bad.
Yeah.
Okay. After they run 15 to 20 laps, he settles down, and then he's pretty. But by then, he's half a lap behind. You know what I mean? Even though he runs as quick as the leaders, he's not catching anybody.
You ain't catching nobody.
And but the way the race came out, I guess the 20 was probably the best car overall.
Well, we outrun him one time.
I know that.
That's
what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm talking about the 43.
I thought one of our pit runs and stuff, I thought maybe they made an adjustment because it was a bad run for him. He really didn't run good at all. Whatever they changed, he was not as good as he was before.
Sorriest run all day at a critical time.
And that got him behind because of that. I tell you that 12 car was coming on. He just got too far behind, Yeah. And last week, the 20 was trying to catch up, and he almost made it. This week, they was almost catching up with him. But
But what about the superstars making mistakes, Richard? And I'm talking about Kyle Larson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I keep watching that over and over and over, and everybody's kind of blaming the 12 car for slowing up too much. Hey,
he come in too fast. He hit him.
It don't make any difference You can come in 2 mile an hour or 200 mile an hour. That's your prerogative when you make a pit stop. But
Well,
if the 12 car hadn't have been there, and that 5 car come in like that, he would have been speeding when he hit pit road.
Ain't no question about it, Richard. But what he was trying to do, he was trying to make up time on the 12 car.
I understand what he was trying to do.
Like I saying, he's a superstar and
he misjudged everything. You know what I mean?
Do you think Denny Hamlin broke something, Richard?
Something had to happen to the car.
He's too good a driver for that.
He was right in the middle of the track, and the thing just took off. And it wasn't a deal where it broke loose. You know what I mean? And he overcorrected. The car just went to the right. And so something had to happen to the car.
Yeah. Well, okay, we're saying it's a pretty good race, but it was one of them races where at different times different cars was better.
Right. And sometimes it was according to what tires they had on. There was some cars that was really good on brand new tires.
Yeah.
And then there was some cars that picked it up after the tires started wearing out, and they were the ones that come on at the end of the race.
I'm not. We're talking about, right there at the end, the last pit stop, I guess, with about, 25 laps to go?
Something like that.
I think we come in 14th and went out 19th. And he drove back up. But they he had been pushing, Richard. The car got tight.
Oh.
And,
as it got cooler. Yeah.
But they made but he drove back up to 14th, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're back there racing them people, you're killing your tires.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the people out front. But, that's been known forever, So.
But it's going to be interesting this week when we go to Martinsville, because it's a knockdown, carry-out deal. People banging on each other just to get around the racetrack. And there's 2 or 3 of them there, the 11 car, the 19 car. They're behind in the points. Okay, and even the 12 car, he's going to have to finish good in order for him to stay in the top 4.
But he's the one that's really going to have to drive a defensive race.
Right. Yeah,
he's okay if he don't lose nothing.
He's okay if he can run the whole race and not have any trouble.
Yeah, but he's in protective mode, and the rest of them just
they got to go for it.
They're out there savage. But and this is a place where. We was over there talking the other day, and I said, well, they probably get down to like 45 mile an hour. And the engineer looked in his computer and punched in about 56 buttons and said, no, it's 56 mile an hour. So
you wasn't too far off.
So they proved me wrong again. But that's pretty slow for a race car. But yesterday, I skimmed through it pretty fast. But the 21 car, now he never was a factor in the race, but he blowed an engine, and talking to Eddie Wood, he said the car just got hot and just quit running, and the 19 blowed an engine, Richard.
Right. That's very unusual.
It's very unusual. But they're running, we used to run a car 180 degrees, 200 maybe.
Yeah, 200 was getting hot.
You know what they're running them now?
260, something like that, right?
Anywhere from 280 to 300.
Yeah, but it's a closed circuit. Okay?
I get that.
Yeah.
But no matter what, that's just how much different everything is from
what it
years ago. But, yeah, you're talking about Martinsville, and it will be interesting. But
it's not what you do up there a lot of times. It's what somebody else does.
Yeah. And pit stops will be even more critical.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And qualifying, Richard.
Will be really
and pit
critical.
Selection.
Yeah.
I mean, I name a dozen things, but...
we'll go up there and see, okay?
Yeah, okay, but we'll see you up there. I guess you'll let me ride up there, will you?
If you'll hang on, yes, I think you.
I have to hang on every time I go anywhere with you.
Okay.